go to open homes as
like
well.
$1,000
cover, which is yung
Ang maipapayo.
And what is the implication?
So with Kayanga or
This thing and this thing.
Hindi talaga siya binahin, fairness.
Hello, everybody. And hi, everyone. Welcome back to our 58th episode. Every week, I'm just so excited for the next episode that we're going to have to discuss here. Not actually in home buying tips in New Zealand. How are you, Marianne? It's summer, officially summer, and it's so hot now.
No, it's so hot, but it's so funny, Ate, how Saturday was so rainy, and then suddenly, and now it's like, oh, it's so hot.
True.
But
Oh, that's probably the sign of the change of weather. I've noticed that when it's going to be the next season, it usually rains first and then the following day.
yeah. Oh, that's funny. But hello, guys. I didn't even greet. Hello, guys. Thanks everyone for those who are watching us right now, as well as what Ate Juvie said. This is a very exciting topic that we're gonna talk about. Again, another reminder: me and Ate, especially me, I am a former real estate agent. I'm holding my license suspended, personal choice, having a break from real estate. But at the end of the day, this is such a good portal for me and Ate to actually be discussing things that we can actually use for helping our kababayans, right, Ate? Which is like so good that we're continuing it, even though I left kind of like having a break from real estate.
True. And I myself, I'm an educator, a teacher, and a homeowner, and that's why I am so passionate about this thing, because I have a home already, but I'm planning to have more if possible in no time. So we're actually learning all of these together, and feel free to engage with us, ask us questions. We are not 100% experts, but we are inviting experts, but we have experiences and knowledge, especially Mary Ann in the real estate, and my experience as a home owner. And that's why we're sharing it to you, especially to our fellow kababayan here in New Zealand. Bago pa lang, they're establishing themselves, weighing up things, whether should we buy a house or should we not? Or in our case, should we buy a section? And this is what my husband has told me. He said, I thought you've already discussed that with Marianne. And I was like, yeah, we kind of touched that
A
topic,
little.
but we really dig deeper, because he's telling me we need to buy a section so that we will design the house that we will really like.
Mhm.
And
That's so
yeah.
true, Ate. And I think I kind of get the point of Kuya, because that was exactly one of the reason why I also am kind of leaning towards buying your own section, because you can pretty much like buy in in a really good area. I love Clevedon. You can get sections under, I think, listing of my colleague Jay Singh. He's got good sections in Clevedon, and then there's good
Oh no, but you're cut off. Clevedon. I think that's.
section in Ormiston,
Let me check out where
Flatbush.
about is
There's a
Clevedon.
lot.
It's
Oh,
you were cut off.
it's a little bit past Papakura. Takanini. Kind of,
So
it's South
going to
Auckland,
the
Ate.
yes, east.
South.
Clevedon. Let me check.
Kind
Clevedon,
of,
yeah.
kind of, because you can go through Clevedon and then it's kind of the same way going to Whitford, which is East Auckland. But that's such a beautiful little
It's a
town.
bit choppy,
Like
Marianne.
little.
Can you check your network?
My
Can you hear me?
internet. Yes. I
Oh,
don't know
is it
why.
my one?
Am I the one who's choppy?
From my end, I thought you were choppy, or it might be me that you're losing. Carry on.
I have a
Oh,
full
yeah,
bar. I have full bar.
might just be me.
Can you hear me?
Hopefully somebody can comment. Yeah, you're being cut off, or
Yes.
no idea what's going on.
Am I Okay. Am I cutting off, Ate? Or not?
So
Or
far,
is
so
it
good
okay?
now. Yeah, I think it's okay now. Oof,
Okay.
please
Okay.
don't. I was just
I don't
checking.
know.
Uh,
Ah. So Clevedon,
yes, to the east of Takanini.
yes,
Takanini.
a little bit of east, yes. So I don't know, you should try going to Clevedon markets every Sunday. That was every Sunday, eh, Mahal. Yeah, Clevedon Market is so beautiful. Me and Steven, I used to always go there even when I was pregnant. And then when we had Celestine, when I'm craving for, those kind of boutique kind of food of, somewhere like you can find oysters, you can find, have you been to like those Sunday markets out there, right? It's so yum. Like,
Yes, but not in Clevedon. I've been to Mangere Market and other markets, Manurewa, so just close by. Not
at,
in Clevedon.
like kind of a little bit a higher end.
Yeah, and I think because we usually go through that area going to the mussel farm when we want to
Yes,
go fishing. So we go past that
yes.
area. And there are still a lot of wide section. Are they for
Mhm.
sale?
I know I haven't checked my colleague Jason yet. But I remember that before I left Ray White Monaco, I know that he has current listings at that time. So I think he's got two sections. And Clevedon has been
Mm.
a, like it's a developing area as well. It's a very beautiful area. I like going there because it's that feeling that like you're in Auckland, but you actually don't feel like you're in Auckland. You feel like you're in a little
Yeah,
town.
that's true. And it's not that far away compared to Clark's Beach and Wayuko. It's actually closer,
Yes.
but you feel that ambience that it's like kind of an old town and quiet,
Mm,
peaceful, clean, I would say, less traffic, and it's still
yes.
close to this.
And and what's very beautiful about that ate in Clevedon, I really love Clevedon because me and Steven, when we feel like going hiking, there's a good hike going up the mountain in
Ah,
Clevedon and going down. So if you
Punua.
want to get your steps up,
Yeah.
go to Clevedon hike.
Yeah. So that's good.
Right?
And
Okay.
I
So
know there are still a lot of sections as well close to Manuka or Flatbush. But Flatbush is a
yes.
crowded place
So
for me now.
So a lot of like I know it because I travel with my current job. I drive a lot all the time. So I have seen all these sections for sale as well. Even up in the gardens ate. So there's the
Mm,
garden. There
mm.
are still some sections up there. But the only thing what I don't like is that you won't have that type of wide roads comparing to the gardens. Like the older section of the garden. So that one, because it's all newer build, like kind of like they've created that little road up the hill. It's more of like it's
Mm.
more crowded. Like you would want to build a house that has a little bit of at least double garage and then another extra car park in front of the double garage. You get what I mean, right? That thing. So those kind and that's why we have this topic, right, ate, because like we kind of have to weigh in, is it good to actually just buy a section, or is it actually good to just settle down to an existing home?
Yeah, the downside really for the existing home that I'm actually discouraged to buy is that you don't really have enough space for your parking. And we know here in Auckland, a car is a necessity. It's like a phone. You need
Mm,
it. You can catch the bus, catch the train, but it's still different when you have a car. And there
it's
are
so
more
true.
cars in the past, and you
Mm,
can't just park it anywhere. And that's really one of the trouble when you're buying a home that is exist. No, not existing. I mean the new builds, the new builds.
yes.
Weighing up things between buying a section when you can design your own style, have your own
Yeah.
design, or buying an
Yeah.
existing.
So those are at the like you've mentioned benefit. So the benefit, of course, is that with section, if you get a pre-approval, because this is, I'm pretty sure, even if next time we invite Sanjeev, at least Sanjeev can explain to us. But I know that the mortgage application for a buy and section and build is different from the mortgage application for an existing home.
Oh, is that so? What is it?
Mm.
What's the requirement? Is it a bit higher or not?
That's what I don't know how they calculate it at this. So we really need to have Sanjeev again or
Sense.
any other of our friends who are mortgage broker, because I know though is that because when you buy a section, I just have a bit of a background about it, that when you buy a section, you kind of have to also apply to, or let the bank know, or let your advisor know what sort of plan you were actually buying, unless you're already applying for a buy land and build, then it has to be also given all your plans, your resource consents, building consents, everything else is already in place. But is it my internet again is going slower?
I think it's
Okay.
okay.
But okay. Okay, thanks, Ed. But wouldn't exist like, and then you also, I think, I'm pretty sure that your bank will also have to check the sort of, like everything is in place, like resource consent, building consent, the plan of the house, you've got a blueprint, everything like that, so that they will know how much the project will cost. Because another thing as well is that there's a lot of factors for you when you're choosing to get a section, because you will also, as what we are wanting to say, talk about Ate, is that you have to put in consideration the other expenses, not just from acquisition of the land, but also, of course, those consents that those consents, Ate, that you'll have to open. They will also have to get, of course, you get the lim report as well of the land. So
Oh,
you will get to know if it's a flood prone area, or
or
it's
is it
a flood
slow?
zone. Yes, if it's sloping. And then those, the topographical surveyor. So you've got a lot of those things to kind of put in consideration.
Plus, of course, I was just thinking if it's a section and it's a bit far away from other houses, say for example a farm,
Mhm.
then you have to consider who will start the layout of the drainage, because I know there's one system where the sewage
Mm.
goes same. I don't know. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, to the town, like connected to the town services, are they?
I think
Is
so.
it that,
Yeah,
is that the one?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I've also seen an an advertisement showing that you can make your own system, sewage system. But I think it depends, because there's also a requirement by the council if it's allowed for you to have a sewage system of your own if you probably have a bigger area. Say for example,
yeah,
when we used to live in the farm, I don't think our sewage was connected to the town, but
yeah,
instead there's probably, I'm not 100% sure, but more likely to be, I'm probably correct, that they have in each farm they have a sewage system where those people who
yeah.
live in that particular farm, it will go there and the have the same
Yes.
type
So
of-
that's so true, Ate. And what you were actually mentioning right now is farm is totally different. It's kind of similar to lifestyle properties. So lifestyle properties, I remember with me and Jason, my colleague, sold property in Hunua. So that one
yeah.
has a very different, yeah, like very different sort of, the services, the water, it's got its own tank, even the sewage, what's this, the wastewater is also different as well, so it has its own.
So for the water, yeah, because everyone in town or in the city, they have they are connected. So if you have
Yeah,
an area or a section far away from the crowded places, let's say, you're gonna put up your own then. Like, how
yes.
will you do that?
So those are kind of something that you can kind of put into consideration. But what we can do, so it gets complicated at it with areas that are not fully developed yet for development for builds. There are sections that you can buy. So I've mentioned earlier, Ormiston and Flatbush, there are sections that are for sale. A lot of the times, if you buy those kind of sections, those already got the resource consents and building
Okay.
consents. And then you kind of just have to like like if you really want to buy that, then you kind of go to your mortgage advisor, and then your mortgage advisor will tell you, okay, so this is how much you can afford, what sort of, and then that is when you can kind of say, okay, well, if we plan for a 5-bedroom house, the budget that we got pre-approval for building isn't gonna go to a 5-bedroom. It's only gonna give me up to 3-bedroom. So I know at the moment, I'm not sure, I haven't really checked. So please do your own due diligence as well. Building a house as well at the moment is, I think, minimum is 3,000 per square meter floor area.
Sorry, what's that again? If you are going to build your house.
Build it. Yeah, but that's excluding all your resource consents, all your finishing of the house. But just to build the house with
Just
the
the house.
floor area, that's I know that the standard cost is 3,500 per square meter.
I'll tell my husband that 3,500 per square meter. So if you
So
have a
if
100
you
square meter house,
you times it
3,500
to
times
3,500.
100. So if you have 2-story, that includes that would be a total of 200 square meters, right?
Well, if you're gonna make 100 per level, but majority of the times, like the houses at that I saw, like I've listed, let's say the Te Aparangi in Papakura, there is 150 square meter floor area, so that's pretty much 150 including the upstairs, but it's actually very spacious.
But basically, if it's just a 1-story, then 100 square meters would cost you 350. Okay, that's for us. Thank you for that idea.
Yes.
Now, anyone else who's
So that
wanting a
also
section?
kind of depends, ate. So there are some developers who's got their own different estimate price per square meter, but that's usually the 3,500, as I know, is a standard one.
Nice. But now, if that's one thing you're considering buying a section, so yeah, estimate mo na how much is the section? What do you think?
Yes. So that's the thing. So if you are buying, if you're doing some of our kababayans, I know that I have a client before. He's a kababayan, and he bought a section. So majority of the times, depending on the section, I think we sold, when I was in Barfoot, we sold a 300 square meter land area section, and that's out west. And that was sold for 400,000.
400,000. Okay.
For a 300 square meter out west, but that was 3 years ago.
Oh no. Yeah, 3 years ago. So assuming
That
you're
was a
going
hot
to
market.
no, section. Sorry?
That was in hot market, ate.
Okay. So maybe now it's about 3/4 of it, or let's just say 400. Then you can design your own house. A million.
Yes.
This is 750 compared to a 750 2-bedroom existing house. I would go for this instead.
Yeah.
I'll just save money.
Let's see. I am quickly, while you give your idea, ate, I know that when you go to realestate.co app, so if you guys have an app for realestate.co, pretty much it's like a Trade Me as well, but this one it's just specializing on properties. Pretty much most listings that are in Trade Me is also in realestate.co and Sid. So if you kind of say you just go for just, yeah, you can choose, if you're just looking for just a section, let's say just a section, and then you can search. Yes, there you go. So there's house listings. Oh my god. And then
House
So not
listing,
now.
listing rental properties as well, and property
Yeah.
listing. How does it
So
differ?
in
Property and the house listings.
so
I
oh,
This one is
property
for
list.
section, and this one is for
Yeah, I think
different.
it's house. I think house listing and property listing is the same. I don't know
Let's
why
see.
it shows like that,
I know these are
but
house.
I need to clear that one. Clear,
Oh,
clear.
me
And you
more
just want a
information.
section.
Visit website.
So I'm giving you an example. Ate. I saw there are 776 listings at the moment for just section.
Wow, can you find one here in Manurella or?
There's a in Snell's Beach. I don't know if in let's see if it's in Manureo. But in
No.
Snell's Beach, I'm
Or
just saying,
Mhm.
in Snell's Beach, there's an asking price for 489 square meter land area. Oh, actually,
480.
Mount Wellington, there's a section for sale, almost 500 section.
Wow.
It's an 849,000 for asking price. But put it into consideration, Mount Wellington is
Yeah,
central.
central.
That's like
849 just
there.
section. And let's say you're going to build a house, a little bit bigger one, around 500,000, then you need to budget around 1.4 M.
Yes. So in Clevedon, there is a listing as well for a 500, almost 550 square meter.
Mm.
That is an asking price of 731,500.
Yeah, but that's a bit far away from the city. But I like
Yeah.
a little bit
Cleve-
far away from the city for a quiet time. But then
In
it's too far.
Warkworth, so Warkworth is a little bit above up north.
Yeah,
Some
I think
people
2 hours from
buy,
central.
yeah. So some people they buy in there at it, they just do a land like land banking. And
What
that's
do you
in
mean?
Warkworth is land bank. They just wait for they buy it and they don't do anything about it. They just wait for the price to go up.
And then sell it again.
Yeah, and then sell it.
Ah,
So in
so it's like
Warkworth,
costing your money there.
yeah. So well,
Land bank. That's why.
Warkworth is also becoming a very good development, but in Warkworth there is a section for sale for 338 square meter, and the asking price is 475,000.
Okay, I'll wait a bit, but we will definitely invite Sanjeev in order to give us more idea as to what's the best process. Are you going to have two mortgages, one for the land and one for the house? Because I was thinking of that.
Mhm,
Or just go for
mhm.
the land first, and then when you have equity, then start paying for the house. We're gonna get his advice next time, maybe after New Year. Now, moving on to comparing it to purchasing existing home. I like
Yes.
existing home as well if it's old. The downside is there will be a lot of repairs. Yeah. If
Mm,
it's an existing old home, then you will more likely to have a little bit of space for parking compared to a
mm.
new build nowadays. That's so hard to find enough parking space. Sometimes it's only one parking for how many of you in the house?
Yeah. Like your ate, yours one is actually quite good because it's a cross lease, but it's got enough space for car parks.
We're just thankful for that. That was actually one of our
Mm,
requirements because we know that our kids are growing. Uh,
yeah.
now, both of them, all of us are driving, and sooner or later, my youngest want to buy her own car, and I was like, not at this time. We don't have space for your car. Otherwise, you park on the street, and
Off street, yeah.
you know, it's
It's
not
better to
100%
have it
safe.
on your house. Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
true. But you're correct, Ate. So the upside of having an existing house is that you can pretty much just move in when you buy it. And it's already inclusive of the land and then your house, your dwelling. um
Yeah.
the downside is that, of course, with comparing it to the section and you build your own, with when you build your own, you can create your own layout that will work for the family dynamics. But the existing, you kind of like, yes, you fall in love with that house, but then after a couple of years you'll be like, this doesn't
No,
work
in
anymore.
fact, in our case, after a couple of days, I realized, no, I want this thing over here. I want more PowerPoints. I want this one over here. I want more shelves here. Just after a few days.
That's a couple of days.
So it's good if you're a
Oh,
tradie, you've got an idea on how to fix basic things. And it's good if you have
yeah.
more money, then you can just hire somebody to do it for you. But if you don't
That's
have any of those, bear it. Bear it for now. But in your
okay.
case, what are you thinking of? What are you leaning towards? Buying a section or existing, new build,
I
old?
think I think ate for me, every time me and Steven talks, I am more leaning towards at the like for me, my heart actually goes to have a section and build. The reason behind that is because if I look into house prices of the house that I'm actually wanting to buy, because I want a house that has room for my in-laws, that they can
Yeah.
grow old with us, and that they have their own room downstairs, even though we're all upstairs, as long as it's easy for them. And within that kind of existing home that has the layout that I'm looking for, it's gonna be a bit at
So
least
expensive.
900 to a million.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
granny flat. I've seen that in Flatbush. So beautiful. I've seen that, I think, last year when we were looking for, we were wanting to buy to sell our house and then wanting to buy another one. And we saw 7 bedroom, five on top and second story. And then at the in the ground floor, there's a granny flat. There's like a secret door by the kitchen that when you press it, it's gonna go open and it will direct you to two-bedroom with.
Oh,
It's so beautiful. And you know how much the price was?
how much?
1.7. And oh my geez, even if we sell our house, it's not gonna be enough. And the another downside is like the parking is just good for two or three. So there's a double
Uh-huh.
garage and a little bit of space outside. So that's like 3 cars, or let's just say four.
Uh-huh.
But for 7 bedroom, you're
Yeah,
expecting
it's not enough.
10 to 14, say, for example, people who will become an adult and will need to have a car. Where will you park your
Mm.
car? Because
Or
outside,
even
and
if you say, even if you put that ate for rent, like your tenants will kind of need to have a car park.
yeah, they will be not happy to carry on because they won't have parking spaces. That's
I
another requirement.
can I can say though, ate, in Papakura, that is Te Aparangi Road in Papakura, not Te Aparangi in McLennan. So there is one in there, and that is similar to what you were saying. That it has like that secret door, and there's a self-contained two-bedroom. And that was so beautiful. And my colleague Kathy May sold it for 1.2.
Ooh, that's cheaper. Papakura. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Flatbush is really pricey.
It's a little bit higher for, of course, the suburb of Flatbush, but Papakura is okay. You can still, although during the hot market it kind of hits up to the same amount of what our
Mm.
selling our Flatbush. But during the time, Kathy's team sold it for 1.250, I think 1.250. But that is a good house. You have double garage. You have central vacuum. You've got so
Oh,
double
yeah.
garage. And then yes, and then in front of the garage, you can pretty much park another three or four because it's such
Oh,
a big lawn.
section.
Yeah, and then
Oh, that's
yeah,
better.
and the and then the two-bedroom, the one, the self-contained that I told you that it's connected to the house, that one has its own entrance as well on the side. So if you're putting that as tenants, for tenants, they have their own privacy, they have their
Yeah.
own exit and entry point, and they have enough car park space as well.
That sounds perfect. How many bedrooms?
7. Same as
7 as
yours.
well. Yeah.
I think so because it's 4 bedroom on the main and 2 bedroom at the back. What's funny is that actually it looks like it's got 8 because in the middle, before you go to the self-contained at the back, you can kind of close both sides or close just your 2 bedroom self-contained. This room is actually you can use it for office.
Ah, yeah, an office room. Mm,
Yeah, so
that's
you kind of go through that office to go to the next self-contained one.
cheaper than the one in Flatbush, plus a wider parking.
Wider
I would
area, yes, yes.
rather go for that one. But one thing, another thing to consider when you're weighing up things, whether section or an existing home. Let's talk about the money. Of course, there's a big difference, like what we've mentioned a while ago. Separate for the land or the section, and separate for the house. What I've heard from my
Yes.
friends, they started paying the land first, the section, while they were renting out. And then later on, I think they took another mortgage. I'm not sure if it's another mortgage or if they have already paid off the section, but they took another mortgage for the house. And it was a long process because the land area was sloped, like what I've mentioned to you. I really look
Mm.
forward to hearing from them if they're going
Yeah,
to
they're
grace
willing to share, yes.
live podcast so that they can share their personal experience, what their
Mm-hmm.
struggles were, and the expenses. So our viewers will be ready when they choose that pathway as well.
Yeah.
And of course, what else to expect when we're preparing for budget? Always ready 10 to 20% contingency, I think.
Yes. Because
And
at
what
the
about
end
you?
of the day, Ate, you will never know that. I remember our cousin-in-law, I helped her kind of because she was in Europe that time when she was building her house. I remember I was helping her look after the build that's going on in her house. And I remember the very first plan is her full budget to create that full 1, 2, 3 bedroom is I think 250,000, and that's in Mount Eden. So her budget was 250,000, and that's another 100 square meter house at the back of her house. But instead of 250,000, like you have all those unexpected things that happen, it still went all the way to 500,000. So it doubled her
Ooh,
original budget. Yeah.
it's more than doubled. Oh man. Well, if I reckon she has some money, that's why because in my case, if I don't have the money, I will put the project on hold. But of course, it doesn't
Mm.
look nice if you put it on hold, especially if it's halfway through. The
Yeah.
thing gets rotten, if it gets wet, or if it's left unfinished. So always be ready when you have this, especially the good thing with existing homes, because if it's just a little repair, you can do it yourself. So less expenses, right?
Yeah.
If a little bit of repair, but you can put it on hold if you don't have money, then that's okay. But when
Yes.
you're building a home, you want it to be finished as soon as possible.
You know.
That's really hard
Because
if
you
you
will
don't.
have double the expenses because you need to rent as well when it's being fixed.
Uh, yes, if it couldn't be done in at a certain period of time where you're gonna be. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
that's one thing that I've remembered from my friend that I've mentioned, that while their house was still ongoing, they were renting, and they were so
Mm-hmm.
excited to move in at certain time, but because it was put on hold because of some requirements, so yep, they stayed a bit longer in the house that they were staying, and of course you're gonna pay for the rent, so double your expenses because you're already paying your mortgage for the house and
Yeah.
you're still paying for the rent.
Yes.
That's the challenge you've got to ready yourself with. Nice. It's nice to talk about this. I mean, it's not nice when you are going to spend more than you are expecting. So be ready for the worst.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the fourth one, decision factors. Let me check it out first. Decision. The decision depends on your preference, your budget.
Mhm.
What else?
Yeah. Your timeline, your,
Yeah,
I don't know,
time.
ate, like your what sort of kind of like your plans as well, because some of the, I remember one of my client as well, they were the one that I was trying to sell, the house that I'm trying to sell. The person who's staying there are actually tenants because they're renting because they're building. So they were kind of like so, what do we call that, like they were kind of so scared because if the house gets sold, the one that they're renting, and their house
Oh,
isn't
yes.
finished yet, they have to move again to another place.
Oh,
So
that.
that was very challenging. So I think as long as you've got everything on plan and kind of put a little bit of a wiggle room if something goes out of plan, like what you've said, Ate, that it kind of have with the consents, it takes time
Mhm.
as well, like there is a lot of factors as well. I remember with my cousin-in-law in Mount Eden, one of the factors actually I think maybe have increased is that because here in New Zealand, every step of the way it has to be checked by the council as well. Like if it's up to the building standard and everything like that, it takes time. And sometimes they're so busy that you kind of have to hold your project. I remember that to hold the project,
Yeah.
our builders cannot continue working because it's not been approved by the council yet.
Yes, 100%. That was a couple of years ago when there were a lot of complaints about the construction because many buildings were put on hold because they don't have enough inspectors to come on site and check before they
Yes.
go ahead. I'm not sure
Yes.
now.
Mm.
So that's pretty much it. Think about the factors that can affect you in buying an existing home or a section. Ooh, we've discussed it more deeper this time, and we're gonna invite next time, like what we said, we're going to tap Sanjeev for next year to discuss more about the mortgage for the section. But it's good that you've mentioned the price. Let's just have a
Yes.
wrap up on this one.
Build
We've discussed
her.
what was it again, the buying, if you're preferring to buy a section, which I am preferring to, and
Yeah.
or comparing it to an
Or you
existing
can do a
home.
land banking at it. If you can still buy it now because it's still a little bit of a cold market, although it's getting warmer. Because I know that my colleagues in Ray White, Manukau, they've had quite good results in their auction lately. So it's
So
becoming busier again.
when you say buying a land, that means I'm gonna put a mortgage on that land, not
Just the
exactly
land,
buy.
yeah. Not the
Hmm.
whole land and build.
Yeah,
And
that's
then you can
possible.
just talk to your, yeah, you can talk to Sanjeev. If Sanjeev will be your account, like your mortgage broker, just ask for his advice, and then maybe Sanjeev will give you his 2 cents.
Let's contact Sanjeev right after this. So that's it. That what's the bottom line?
Well, bottom line is it still depends, because that's what I told you, Ate. I was leaning towards the build, but every time me and Steven are kind of like weighing things, then we'll
What
be
is the
like,
like?
oh shucks, then like what if like we'll have to rent and
Yeah.
everything.
But
Although
you can
we're
still
kind
stay
of
there.
like with the family at the moment, yeah.
Hmm. So does he prefer the existing one?
We would, I think, or like Steven doesn't really have much of a preference. Like he's more of like he wants his own space. He wants have to have us more storage and everything like that. And what I love about him, he's like you, Ate. He can DIY. He can do
Ah,
his
yeah.
DIY. So we may be able to buy a cheaper existing older home,
Existing. Yeah.
and it's,
Yeah.
yeah, and then it's got a little bit of the storage that we want, and then by the time he's got him and his brothers to help us change the layout.
Yeah. That's what we're considering now as well. I am telling my son to maybe we'll look at existing old houses that we can do it ourselves for a little bit of repair or hire somebody to help us. That's a perfect one.
Yes.
But what would you like? Anyone there who's watching will be watching our video. What would you prefer? Would love to hear your thoughts. Share your questions, your experiences. If you've already experienced buying a section and then land, I mean a house after that, let us know. And for those who are still weighing up things, what are you leaning toward? Para matulungan niyo kami to decide the house. Yeah. So many options here in New Zealand. That's a kind of good thing, but at the same time, bad thing as well because it's hard to choose when you have many options. All right, there you go. Thank you so much, everyone. Oops, I think Marianne is frozen again. But thank you so much for your time, spending your night with us again, listening to us. And I hope you will watch us again next week on Wednesday, same time, same channel, same platform, Facebook page and YouTube. And watch out for the next episode where we're inviting other people. I'm still inviting the others, but yet to be confirmed. Marianne, you were frozen a while ago. Any
I know,
update?
and then you were kind of like bam, 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 and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think it's my internet.
Oh no. Anyway, updates from me. I've got catch up with my Filipino teachers friends here in New Zealand. We will be discussing about the benefits of becoming a teacher here, the ups and downs, actually talking about salary increases, tax, expenses, and all sorts. Is it worth teaching in New Zealand, moving to New Zealand to teach, or it's better to explore in other parts of the world aside from
Yes.
Philippines?
Yes.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh, that's
upcoming
so
activities
good. But
of the Bayan Manorewa, I think Christmas party.
sorry. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm not sure if that's the same day as. Oh no, that was the 18th, Ate Ray.
No, we're flying on the 17th. So it's 15
Oh,
Sunday. I'm not sure with the others if they're still going ahead. So I will
true. I
touch
haven't really.
and I will tag you there.
Yep.
I will touch base with the group and see if they are still keen to have it because yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
you're
want
gonna
to
be busy before you fly too.
yeah, starting to clean up the house as well before leaving. Thank you so much everyone for staying tuned and for learning with us. And I hope you will have a fantastic week in summer this season.
Thanks, guys, and see you again next week. And we hope that we will have have a very Merry Christmas. If the ones who won't be able to watch us next week. Thank you. Have a good evening.